Madam Guite, again, let me play out the visual, and let us just go over that visual of Biren Singh. The problem is there a problem of Manipur being treated like a law and order issue instead of a conversation that is required? And I think figuratively wrong sort of pictures are going. It's like the sort of pictures people have got used to in national narrative from the so-called troubled region, quote unquote. Wouldn't it be better to see lawmakers sitting with people in the relief camp? वो ज़्यादा इमेज बढ़िया रहती, या ये बैठी कि प्रशासन के बीच में चीफ मिनिस्टर सिटिंग देयर लाइक अ डंडा सेइंग ओके आई एम गोइंग टू डू दैट, एंड द फैक्ट ऑफ द मैटर इज actually the state is absent.
Yes, see, Kartike, from the beginning, I remember coming to your show and telling every time that the head of the state, the chief minister, should rise above all these ethnic community differences and the kind of division which he created, and he portrayed himself to be the chief minister of the Meitei. And if he is still the head of the state, then and trying to trying to bring normalcy and peace in the state, because the other party, the cookies of groups, have no trust in him at all. There was a time when he was popular. I mean, even in his second term. But now with this, the kind of events which is unfolding and the violence happening, he completely lost the trust of the other party. So, and I still stood by what I said, that he has to step down as the head of the state. And in the beginning, as I say, neutral agency has to come in. And then only normalcy will come. All this meeting, taking out office orders, telling the people to come and join the office, who will come to the Imphal Valley and risk one's own life and join their services. You are not able to bring normalcy to that region. Instead, you further created a buffer zone, which kind of physically, demographically, and geographically divided the hill and valley. The hill and valley divide has always been there, but you kind of strengthen it. Instead of reducing the gap, you kind of increase the gap. So there is so much of inequities which is created by the present law and order situation. So in that kind of a situation, whatever meetings you have, or whatever order you issued, or whatever legal cases you file against the other party or against each other, nothing is going to bring a concrete solution. That's my strong opinion about it.
Okay. And then the third part of the conversation, and then I open up, my conversation with all of you on various other issues. Prasenjit ji, why is there is different opinions? Like for example, Meitei say, I want to understand that no territorial disintegration of Manipur. A lot of ITLF and cookie groups. Someone says state article say separate administration under sixth schedule of the constitution. Then someone says separate state under the Article 3. Do you think it is because of the diversities of various cookie groups, or it just represents some sort of an anger in which says कि साथ नहीं रहना है? But बात ये नहीं है. It is a reflection of anger.
Not really a reflection of anger. It's a question of political self-determination, as most of these groups term it. Should
we be using the word self-determination here?
Yeah. That's what I'm going to go. Self-determination doesn't mean cessation, first of all. Just to keep the confusion aside.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much, because people can create unnecessary controversies and legal action on such things.
No secessionism.
Thank you so much.
No disintegrationism. In political theory, we call it non-separatist separatism. What is emerging from the scene of Manipur is that every group is trying to have their territorial domain. And by that demarcated domain, they want to say that we are different and separate from the other group with whom we are right now able to see eye to eye. This is precisely the situation. When they say we are not seeing eye to eye, that means there are issues of structural injustice between hill and the valley. There is a kind of a discrimination and relative deprivation between one group and another group. There is also non-recognition of distinguishable cultures, languages, and the claims of rights and autonomy. Now, these are a set of issues which have never been resolved within the ambit of the state of Manipur. And central government also has not taken it up holistically. It has taken it up as a one-off particularistic issue. Suspension of operation with Kuki militants, the question of framework agreement with Nagas, the question of some kind of a truce with Jomi Revolutionary Army, the question of truce with UNLF. This way, situation has remained very particularized, and there is no holistic framework within which the issues and problems raised by various communities are at all discussed. So what we need is a constitutional framework which is available, and using this constitutional framework to resolve the issues. Now, how will people resolve if they cannot come together? So you have to bring them together in a broader frame of discussion. You have to keep calling them, bringing them to Imphal, bringing them to Churachandpur, at the local level, at the level of the state capital, and then at the level of the national level, so that a proper process of mediation, a due process of mediation, a long chain of conversation and a long chain of mediation can really be initiated, in which state governments, central governments are a major party. The conflicting sides are also a party. People who are right now not part of the conflict, but they are bystanders, they also have to join this long chain of conversation. Now, we are not able to create that kind of political conversation because of enmities. Enmities are to be resolved by bringing together people, by bringing a sense of moral rearmament. Everyone should see themselves how they are not contributing to the peace. They should not just think themselves to be a victim. They should also see how from the position of victim, they can articulate a position of peacemaker. Everyone is claiming victimhood. So everyone must join together, being victims together in the process of peace, and have to come together. This moral process of bringing them together, this political process of joining them together is not happening in the case of Manipur. And this is a major lacuna, a major lack in this whole narrative, which is repeatedly boiling down to some kind of an unresolvable conflict. But conflicts are not necessarily unresolvable. Bigger conflicts have been solved, and it is solved by everyone's consent and everyone's participation. We should take those good examples and best practices and apply them in the case of Manipur. This is what I believe.
Okay. Madam Guite, one more thing. When we talk about those different state, union territory, can you just take me through why so many different voices? Before I go back to something which again stayed with me, what Prasannajit said.
You are asking in terms of the different voices which comes from the ethnic communities.
You remember when early we started, the whole conversation was separate administration under 6th schedule, and I would ask you, but there is already a 5th schedule. There can be elections and more autonomy can be given to the tribes, because the difference between 6th and 5th schedule is only judicial powers. That's it. So after COVID, you empower the tribals, but then, people had different views. Now then it became a union territory, then it became state, then it's saying, okay, let's leave it to negotiation. So that was the question which I asked Prasanjit ji, कि ये केवल नाराजगी है बीरेन सिंह जी के खिलाफ या वाकई चीजें बदल गई हैं मणिपुर में?
Kartike, I would take it in the other way, in the sense like, see, there are many options. The main thing is like, okay, there is a definite clarity that the Kuki zone doesn't want to be administered under one political administration with the Meitei majority. That is very clear. So then under the Indian constitution, you have this provisions, either it be 6th schedule, either it be union territory, okay, or either it be Hill Autonomous District Council. So there is a provision within the state So I don't think that's a differences, but it's just exploring which is more feasible and which will be more feasible for all the ethnic group which is under the umbrella of Kuki Zone tribes. So I would not see that as a differences. It is just the brainstorming, the storming period where one tries to come at a particular consensus.
You that if you look at the कोई भी state को लेके कभी भी demand ऐसे नहीं हुई है. Neither it has happened over a barrel of the gun, and secondly no demand of a state in India has happened. अच्छा चलिए यूनियन टेरिटरी दे दीजिए अगर स्टेट नहीं मिल रहा, 6th शेड्यूल दे दीजिए, ऑटोनॉमी दे दीजिए. And again, Rohan, because you wanted to get in, I want you to come now. I feel that there's an anger against Biren Singh and it is getting manifested in various strong positions. If, as a political journalist, I feel that there is a strong resentment against Biren Singh and it's getting reflected. And I feel that people on the other side are taking even stronger position because especially that drama which took place in which his torn resignation letter and other things came out, the hardening of stand has taken place. Rohan.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree that there is a very big failure of our state government in reconciliation of this community fight also. But also, as per as my recall, there was also many of the programs like Go to Hills where the government was trying to reconcile the hills and the valley, where the funds were tried to distributed equally in many of the hilly areas. I could see many of the good initiatives of the government too. See, by speaking all these things, like I'm not just trying to portray the good image of the government, but being myself as a Meitei, what I'm trying to claim here is like we as a Meitei, like we have also tried to look equally in the equal position to all the other, tribals, another 34 ethnic tribes who are there in our state Manipur. And as a matter of fact, like I've also gone to so many of the headquarters of the districts. I've also personally gone to so many of the hills area, and we have also done a lot of awareness program where the schemes of government programs can be benefited through the schemes and programs from the government side. So so yeah, in a matter of fact, I agree that there is a very big failure of the government, and that is the reason why there has been serious allegations to the chief minister of Manipur from the Meiteis, from the Kukis, and I don't know, like whatever terms, that there has been serious allegation. And there has been also this big drama going on in front of the CM's bungalow, that the resignation letter of the CM was tore out, and there was a lot of things going on. But in matter of fact, I would also say that I don't know about the personal intersection of one person as chief minister and Biren, but I would also say that government of Manipur has been trying its level best to see in an equal position with the hills and the valley. That is one perception that I have. And also coming to the different agendas of the separate administration, union territories and state, and even now they have reached to a country level, because I read an article from the one paper that the Jau community has gone to UN for a separate country. So I feel like something is fishy going on right now. Is that this is not just a fight between an internal matter, that it has joined some external matters on this fight, it seems. And when I receive a lot of threat messages from our Kuki brothers and sisters, sometimes there are people whom I see from Myanmar also give me a threat message that, Rohan, you are a fake Christian, you'll be done this and that. And how come that I come with a question, and how come Myanmar nationalists are coming me on a threat message when I say we are really against the territorial integrity of Manipur? Because like as a Manipuri, as a Meitei, not just as a Meitei, but as a Manipuri, it is our ultimatum that the territorial integrity of Manipur should never be broken. And that's what we are looking for right now. And that is the reason why in the first place also, when Professor Sir was giving us the hint or a suggestion that a peace talk should be organized, that is the reason why I agree very much with what Sir said. Instead of the victim game played from the Meitei side or the Kuki side, I admit with everything what the Kukis have done, what the Meiteis have done. Right now, I'm ready as a Meitei, as a Manipuri, for a peace talk, for a proper peace talk, that something must be done so that peace might be, retained in Manipur very soon.